I made about $22,000. That was then. And he took everything. I feel like I've lost my mom because I can, when sometimes you want to talk to your mom about something, but then when I'm talking to her about it, she doesn't even understand what I'm saying. I wrote pray on my board, and each time I see it, I pray. Each time I see it, I pray. Each time I see it, I talk to God. And I don't talk to God like, oh God, please. I talk to God like he's my father. Like, Daddy.
Daddy.
I'm sad again. Come on.
Welcome to This is Africa, the podcast from the BBC that brings you the personal stories behind the music of the motherland with me, DJ Edu, the Afro Boss. The story of my guest on this episode is an example of the perseverance it can take to make it in the birthplace of Afrobeats. Gucci, Nigeria's purple pop princess, has overcome personal tragedy and betrayal to become one of our country's best-loved voices. Hits like Jennifer and Benzema have made her massive on the socials.
Hey, my name is Gucci, a Nigerian singer, songwriter, and I'm on BBC This is Africa.
Kedu?
Oh, Dima.
Gucci gang. When I see you every time, the purple is always striking. What does this purple signify for you?
You know, when I started music, it was like, oh, you look like this person, you look like that person. And I just wanted something that would make me stand out. And I just went for this amazing color that means so much to me. It means royalty, nobility, like everything in one that I like. And, it's that color that is not too shouty, it's not too bright, it's not too dull. It's just giving everything.
And your name, Ugochi, is also quite a powerful
Gucci.
name. Well, not Gucci. Your original name. What does that translate to? Because I know most Nigerian names translate to.
Ugochi is like God's treasure.
And your treasure.
And I'm God's treasure. You should know what that means.
Yeah, of course. And this treasure has gone through some very tough times to come to where you are. Tell me how you first encountered music.
Well, after my secondary school, I started going to the studio, which my mom she didn't like it. Because she was like, focus on your education. You're going to the studio now and all. You're coming back home late. But I really loved music and had so much passion for it. I started going to the studio. I had like a couple of songs then, and I started going for shows. I was working as at then, and everywhere I went to, even at work, I was constantly singing. I used to work at an ice cream store. Yeah, and I know a couple of couples will come, and then maybe someone is trying to propose, and I'll just sing.
Oh, come on, give us a taster.
And I would just sing,
Yeah, come on, give us a taster.
Oh, you want me to sing right now?
Come on, somebody's proposing here right now.
Oh,
in the
really?
studio, yeah. Come on,
Okay,
sing.
let's go. As you carry me, go see mama. I no go ever disappoint you. Oh. And for your love, I no mind to borrow. Now you be my heart desire, baby. It be like fiesta forever. This love forever, we belong together. Whenever, oh, a fiesta.
And after that and some ice cream, of course, she's saying yes, yeah?
Oh, she's saying yes. Yeah, so music have always been passion. Everywhere I went to, I sang, and thank God that my boss as of then at work supported me and told me to go for talent shows. I could have something. And then, one day I just met someone that changed my life. He came to buy ice cream, and then he's like, can I have that flavor? I'm like, no, I can give you something better. And when I did, he's like, okay, this is my card. And 2 weeks later, I called him and he said, what do you do? And I said, I sing. And he's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to take you to Lagos and I have somebody that can help you. And that was it. And yeah, it's been like a roller coaster. It's been, my first official single was in 2019. And that was No Be Jazz. That was the title. And when I came into the industry, I thought my first song would blow up. I didn't know. I just thought that the whole world would hear my song.
And be like, yeah.
But you know what? A couple of people did. even though my first few songs were like hundreds of people listening, but it encouraged me to know that, okay, I have 100 people listening. That means next time when I try harder, I could have 1 million. And, I kept on going and going until I had my first viral song that has about 70 million views on
Yeah.
YouTube.
And that's Jennifer.
Yes, that's Jennifer.
Wow.
And,
So how did Jennifer come about?
Well, Jennifer, my elder sister's name is Jennifer.
Ah, okay.
And, she had...
True story, yeah?
Yes, she had the sewing machine in my room
Okay.
that she was using. And I have my studio in my room. And I was recording and she was working. And it was like, you are disturbing me.
You're annoying me, Jennifer.
You are annoying me. Can you just let me record? And she's like, please, I'm almost done. And she was giving me time that, okay, you take 20 minutes and I take 15 minutes. And I did the first verse and I needed a chorus. I had my melodies. I knew it was but I didn't know what to put there. I just I already did the first verse, which was a heartbreak song. And I didn't know what to put there. And she was constantly disturbing. And I'm like, okay, Shena, because of Jennifer.
Yeah.
Because her name is Jennifer.
Yeah, okay.
That was how I came about the chorus of the song. But the everything together is a heartbreak song, and it was just an imagination because most girls are heartbroken. Yeah.
And speaking of heartbreak and family, you are very intertwined with your family. And you've spoken a lot about the challenges you had when your mom was not very well. Can you tell me about that and how you managed to come through on the other side?
Yeah, so long story. After my secondary school, my mom fell ill. We had an accident years back, and we didn't know she had internal bleeding in her head or in her brain. I don't know what they said.
Yeah.
And after that accident, everybody thought we were good. We didn't know something was wrong.
Okay.
After like about 3 years, my mom started having constant headache, started falling sick, started getting convulsions, seizures, and all kind of things. And she was trying to be strong because she's our everything.
And you're a single mom as well.
Yes, my dad is late.
Yeah, sorry.
I remember her trying to be strong and always acting like she was fine. Like, oh, no, don't worry, it's just headache. And sometimes she'd be like, can you help me hit this part of my head? And then we'll do that. And sometimes she's like, I can't remember something. I know someone is owing me money, but I can't remember who that person is. And then I can see that she's trying to remember, but it's not coming. My mom worked so hard that she made sure we didn't lack anything. We were not so rich, but we were rich because we had everything we needed as kids. Even though we were not living in a very comfortable place, but she tried her best. She was a hard worker. And all of a sudden, everything changed. She started falling sick, temperature high. They're taking her to the hospital every single time. People started getting, we're just really calm family that people didn't know so much about. But because she was getting sick, a lot of people started getting involved, always taking her to the hospital. And she lost her memory. Yeah, she lost her memory. And thank God for her sisters, family members that was very supportive. And she's getting better now. But she has issues with her speech now. She has issues with her speech.
And she could speak so many languages as well. As
she could speak Italian. She could speak, so many languages. My mom was beautiful and very intelligent.
Is beautiful.
Yes.
Sorry. Not twisted.
Yes, my mom is beautiful and very intelligent, but she could not even remember how to speak English. When I watch in movies and...
but she could still cook that jollof, right?
Honestly, my mom forgot everything.
Oh, man. You couldn't even get mommy's jollof?
She couldn't recognize me, nobody. She couldn't because it was like...
But she does now, though.
Yeah, she does now. Lovely. Thank God. She does now. She can speak better now, even though... communication with her have been, I feel like I've lost my mom because I can, when sometimes you want to talk to your mom about something, but then when I'm talking to her about it, she doesn't even understand what I'm saying. And then I have to try to put words that she hear all the time, because it's like she only learned what she hears often. So sometimes I'm trying to, oh, mommy, this, she's like, she's saying something else, I'm saying something else. And sometimes I just cry because I'm trying to make her understand, but she's not understanding. So now she's like my baby. I'm communicating with her like a baby. But I love her so much. She's very stubborn, but before she fell sick, she wasn't interested in music. But now she's like my biggest fan, even though sometimes I don't understand what she's saying, but I know what she's saying. She's like, Nemo, like she's trying to explain to me that she just saw me on TV and I look beautiful, and she's like, yes, like she's trying to explain to me that I'm proud of you. I love her so much. Yeah, since then it's been good. She's my biggest fan. She prays for me all the time. When I sound like I'm sad, even though she don't understand what I'm saying, she still encourage me and tell me, don't worry, everything is going to be fine. Yeah.
How did that impact your career?
Well, honestly, my mom, she's part of the reason why I am who I am today, because I knew how hardworking she was. There was always money everywhere. My mom was this kind of person that would drop money, bundle of money. She would keep money here.
Yeah, keep money there. Yeah.
So I knew that she always had money. And after everything, it was like she lost everything. We couldn't pay rent. We couldn't do nothing for ourselves anymore. And I told myself that this would not happen. And so many times I see her cry. And so many times she's trying to tell me that she wants to go back to work, that she's tired of staying at home. But I know that she cannot go back to work because she had issues with her speech, even though she's better now. And she made me work so hard. I just wanted her to not feel bad. When you used to have a lot of money before, you used to be very independent, and all of a sudden you don't.
Yes.
So I made sure that she always have money, so that she don't get to think that, oh, I don't have money today. So I worked so hard so that she will always have money. So my mom is a rich woman right now. She always have money.
Yeah. And the beauty of that relationship is I saw it with you guys on social media, dancing to one of your tunes. It just seemed like you guys were, in just a special place. It was so amazing.
Yeah.
And how was that for you, being able to share that moment with your mom?
Well, like I said, she's my biggest fan right now. And anything that makes me happy makes her happy. She knows that I'm no longer 16, because of course every parent would protect their girl child, especially. I was 16 when I started going out late at night, and she wasn't happy with it. But now she knows I'm no longer 16. I can take care of myself. I'm an adult. I'm not just taking care of myself. I'm taking care of her.
Yeah.
So anything that makes me happy makes her happy. That day I dressed her, I wore her a purple wig, and she's like, yes, that she wants to, that someone told her they saw her on TikTok and she wants to be on TikTok again. I'm like, okay, come. And we made that video over and over, and she didn't look like she was tired. She didn't complain. She was happy doing it. So my mom is very interested in whatever I do right now.
You had a lot of critics and a lot of people coming for you on social media because you came up kind of like on social media, and people saw a lot of your songs on social media. When you bought a car, people came for you saying, is this your money? When you put out songs, they're like, oh, she's just from the internet. And then you have your challenges with your mom. Where do you think you got this grit to be able to really overcome?
Sometimes when people don't have access to you, they hate you. When they can't say, oh, I know that girl, they get to hate you. And it was weird when I bought my first car. It wasn't even my first car. My first car wasn't even a good car. It was a Camry. And I suffered with that car. I have pictures of when, my car would break down on the road, like And
On the bridge on the way to the island.
and I have pictures. I always tell my sister, snap me so that
Yes.
when I get another car, people would know what I went through,
To get your next.
And it's not like I just came up one day and got a car. And when I got the car, someone said, are you sure you are the one that bought this car or somebody did? Bro, I got money. Like, I had a viral song that gave me a lot of money, and I felt like I needed a better car, and I went for it. So I don't think anybody can come out and say I didn't work hard for my money, because I did. I have about 6 million followers on TikTok, and I don't think you can just wake up one morning and have 6 million
course.
followers.
Yes.
You have to work for it, and I did work for it. So
And even with the viral song, you had some issues with it because you couldn't get the money from it because you had a problem with trust in somebody
yes.
working with the song. What happened?
I think it's something that happens all the time with people that just come into the industry. I was the first artist to be signed into the label, so the label was an experience with a lot of things, because and I had this guy that helped me with my YouTube monetization, which I paid. I paid him to monetize my YouTube,
Okay.
and he had access to my logins, and I made about $22,000. That was then. And he took everything. He took everything, and I didn't know that he took the money until I was trying to withdraw my money, and I realized that it was already gone. And that's not the only case. I had a recent issue last year of someone I trusted so much that also took about $19,000 from a platform that was paying me, and I didn't even know that I had that much money, because the first few times they paid me, it was like peanuts. I'm like,
Of course, yeah.
okay, this aside. But until they were calling me that, Gucci, can you help us make a drop? Can you do this? Can you do that? And my manager was like, you guys are always disturbing us.
Don't do anything for us, but
You guys are always disturbing us. Can I get the logins? And he asked me for the logins, and we found out that we couldn't log in. It was someone else that I don't want to call his name.
Yeah.
Right? But it was someone that was close to me that had my logins that, took everything. And I don't know why anybody would want to do that, because I work hard for my money. And why would you want to steal my money from me?
Is this why you have songs like Patience? Just to woosah and to let out the frustration.
I don't think I've ever sung. I've never sung any song for anybody that stole my money, but
But just the stuff that goes on in your life.
yeah, I like to sing about things that happen in my life. Like relate, like notice me. There's just things that happen around me, even though it's not me directly. My friends, I could sing about you.
By the way, you can sing Sorry to me.
I could sing sorry.
Sorry is a true song?
Yeah, I wrote that song when I was 16. That was my first song ever, and I dropped it this year. But I wrote it
You
when I was
kept it in the
16.
vault that long. Why did you leave it that long?
Because I loved it, but label like, oh no, I don't want you to drop the song now. You have better songs. But when I like something, I just always go for it. Jennifer, the label didn't want me to drop that song. They're like, oh no, it's just a random song. No, you're bigger than this. You should do something better. But I was stubborn.
Of course.
I was stubborn, and I'm like, okay, you don't like the song, right? That means I can just tease it on Instagram. And I said, yeah, you can tease it. And I teased it, and that was it. It's gone.
But I like you're full of life. You don't take yourself very seriously, but you're very honest, and you can actually admit that you've done something wrong and put it on wax and say, sorry, Gucci was, she wasn't very nice.
I was nice. I just knew it was a good song. I knew it was a good song. Something told me that this song is not just, I knew that a lot of girls were going through heartbreak, even though as of then, I didn't go through no heartbreak, but I just felt like a lot of girls would be going through heartbreak, because as a 16-year-old or 17, 18-year-old, even if they are not heartbroken, when they listen to heartbreak songs,
They will know what to expect.
They will feel heartbroken.
Oh,
girls
wow.
girls just like to feel like, oh, I'm heartbroken. So yeah. Yeah.
Apart from that, all these things coming at you, you still had to fight with depression as well. How did you overcome that?
I don't think the word is depression.
Yeah.
I think the word is trying to find myself.
Okay.
Yes, sometimes in life you're like, who am I? There was a time when I always wear like big baggy pants because I was trying to hide my body. But now I'm like a more confident Gucci, and I'm like, I'm pretty. See it, and I don't care what you say. I had insecurities like, oh, they're going to say you're not sexy, or you're not this, you're not that. So, that was when I wrote the song Relate. I was in my downtime. I felt like nobody else could understand me aside from me, and I needed to find myself. And I remember every morning I had this board in my room, and every morning I'll come and I'll write, pray. It was a reminder. I told myself I was going to be praying. Every single time I look at that board and I see pray, I'm going to pray. So I always write pray in the morning and I look at it. So if I'm doing a random thing and I look at the board, I'll pray. Because I told God that I don't want to feel bad. I don't want to feel depressed. I just want to feel you. I was down for no reason. Everything was going well. But I just felt like, why should bad things happen to me? Like my mom. My mom was basically one of the reasons, like, why is my mom not okay? Why do I have to work so hard? Why do I, sometimes the devil can try to make you ungrateful. And I knew that it was the devil just trying to make me ungrateful. And then I just said, you know what, God, I need you in my life. And I'm going to pray every single time that the devil tries to make me feel this way. I'm going to pray. So, and that worked. I wrote pray on my board. And each time I see it, I pray. Each time I see it, I pray. Each time I see it, I talk to God. And I don't talk to God like, oh, God, please. I talk to God like he's my father. Like, Daddy.
Daddy.
I'm sad again. Come on. Yes, so yeah.
Where do you get your humor from?
Well, I don't know. It's just me.
It's just fun.
It's just me. Yeah.
You also got challenges from your family as well, because they expected you to be a gospel artist, didn't they? We breathe. Exhale.
So, when you have a huge family that supports, right? From my mom's side, she has a lot of sisters, siblings, and they're all Christians, not just Christians, they're all Christians to the core. And when I started music, I was singing in a choir. I didn't get no support from them. In short, the few times that I've gone for choir rehearsals, when I come back, my mom's elder sister is giving me this look of, are you sure you went to just the church? And I hated it. I know that my personality looks like I'm wild. But then, even if I am, that's not the best way to put me in check. And she always made me uncomfortable with the way she's like, are you sure you went to just for choir rehearsal? Because when my mom fell sick, we had to stay at my mom's elder sister's place for a while.
Okay.
I was doing music. I was going to the church constantly. I was going to church not because I liked church, but because I was in a choir.
And you could get to sing anyway, yeah?
Yes, and I'll get to sing anyways.
Nice.
And I was doing this for a while, and everybody knew that I could sing. My cousin supported me. His name is Tona. Shout out to him. He supported me so much. He always encouraged me, but the people that I felt could have done better did not. My mom, elder sisters, I recorded my first song with no money from nobody. I recorded my first gospel song and I sent it to both of them and they said nothing. They didn't say nothing. They didn't say, oh no, it's not good. Oh, it's good. They didn't say nothing. And now I'm doing the normal secular song, which is not a sin. And everybody's like, Gucci, give your life to Christ. Give your life to Christ. You had the opportunity to encourage me to do gospel songs, but you didn't.
Missed the boat.
And now I'm here and you want me to come back. She called me. She's like, I'm seeing your pictures. You know, I was just surfing the internet and I saw you wearing this. No, that was not how you were raised. And this. Don't worry. Leave the contract. I'm going to help you now. And you're going to do gospel music. And I said, I'm sorry, mommy. I'm so sorry to break your heart. I love God. I love God more than you do. But I don't think doing secular song is a sin. Because if I sing about love, love exists. If I sing about hate, hate exists. If I sing about anything, it exists. And it's just me singing, putting words as melodies. You know, so I don't think I'm sinning. So don't make me feel like a sinner. So right now I'm like the black sheep in the family. Not my mom. My mom loves me.
No. The purple sheep. The purple sheep.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, you know, I still see them giving me this look. My sister had her wedding a few months ago, and they're all giving me this,
But they're going to play your songs at the wedding.
I'm like,
so it's okay.
yo, please. I'm doing my thing, and yeah.
Yeah, and you have a new album, Tell the People, so they can go and...
Yeah, I have a new EP out everywhere, and it's titled No Skips, Just Feelings. It's everywhere. All for you. It's like every single song you're looking for is in one project.
And I like the array of styles you have in there. The first single it just gingered me so badly, man. And I was like, yo, that's Gucci, man. And thank you so much for coming to spend time with us.
Having me.
Oh, shit. Thank you for sharing.
Thank
and we
you.
appreciate you. And more power to you, man. You've overcome
you.
quite a bit, you know. You're for younger people upcoming who are going through struggle. I think you're a good example to show that if you keep your head at something, it'll come out positive on the other side.
Yeah.
Or it might come out purple as well on the other side. You never know. Thank you for joining us for This Is Africa on YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode.